shot at number 10 that skipped right over the back of the green, and we've seen guys having to deal with backspin. So it's more about flighting your number and hit it with the proper spin and the speed and the trajectory to get that ball to stop however you want to get it to stop. There's plenty of holes that, you know, with the pins in front, let's throw it behind the hole and spin it back down the hill. That is something that's going to be doable this week, as something that you really didn't see last week with the firmer greens. These greens should be a little more receptive than we saw in Las Vegas last week.
At the par 3 12th, John Rahm coming off a birdie, 192. It's a back left hole location on upper plateau of the green. And Rahm staring this one down, and that ball's on the right side. It gets up on the right level, but it's just off the green on the fringe on the right, outside of 25 feet. Justin Rose on the lower level of the green of a long birdie attempt. Hideki Matsuyama at the par 3 12th. He's 1 under. Beautiful shot right over top of the flag, and that is going to chase towards the back center of the green, but a good look for Matsuyama as that ball still trickling. It's a little bit now comes to a rest. Matsuyama 1 under and in good shape at the par 3 12th.
Yeah, 192, really good par 3, very narrow green. It's deep, but it's just narrow. Jack did a really good job of designing these greens. You've got to pinpoint your number and try to land it in the proper spot to get it close to the hole. It's just I think it's a brilliant property for the golf course for the property that they were given. There's a lot of elevation, and I got to give Jack Nicklaus a lot of credit. When you've got a lot of elevation, he is one designer that you would go to. Him and Ben Crenshaw, I think, do the best job when it comes to really tough properties. And this one was not the easiest. I'm sure when he first looked at this property, Freddie, he goes, wow, I'm going to have to figure this one out. There's a lot of terrain on this property.
And a lot of elevation change, some streams that turn into a visually spectacular golf course. Xander Schauffele just over the green, some 50 feet away, chipping for eagle at the par 5 11th. He leads the tour in strokes gained around the green. Onto the putting surface, now chasing out toward the flagstick. Doesn't go in, but that will be a tap-in birdie for Xander Schauffele. 1 under after 2. Oh, that scared the big bird.
That looked like it. I would get that ball out of play right there, because it looked like it actually looked over the hole and said, nope, I'm afraid of the dark and I'm not going in there. I mean, at the very end, it almost looked like it wanted to go, but it said, nope, I ain't doing it. I'd get that ball out of play. It's afraid of the dark. And you don't want golf balls afraid of the dark, Earl.
No, and Xander Schauffele, look, he was impressive a week ago when we've had these back-to-back tournaments in Las Vegas at the CJ Cup at Shadow Creek, and right back at it. A good opening for Xander Schauffele today, the very next week. So, player that put himself in the mix a week ago, wouldn't be surprising if he's right there again this week at Sherwood, Fred.
I gave you the number on Matthew Wolff. What a spectacular start to his season. Of course, second at the U.S. Open, and then second at the Shriners Hospitals for Children Open. Lost to Martin Laird in a playoff. Did not have a particularly good week over the weekend at Shadow Creek in the CJ Cup, but you know he's excited to play here. Said he has played this golf course 1,000 times. Now, that may be a little bit of hyperbole. Grew up 7 miles away. Said he knew members that accommodated him out here. But he absolutely knows this golf course. And a chance to show off some of that knowledge. Just inside of 15 feet, downhill, side hill for birdie at the 11th. This ball will move from left to right. Matthew Wolff slowly back and through. The ball rolling, now approaching the cup on the line, and he made it. 1 putt par at the first and a birdie at the second for Matthew Wolff.
How about that? That putt right there is so hard to read. It's one of those putts where you just think it's going to move to the right, going down the mountain, and it just has a tendency to hang in a little more than you think. It's one of those that, one of the putts, and I'm going to say it a lot this week, it's one that you learn. I mean, he put that putt out on the right, and it actually broke back to the left a little bit. I know there's a little bit of a bowl in there, but it's just so hard to trust that that's exactly what it's going to do.
Tiger Woods working again, though, Fred, to save par.
And this 11 feet after driving into the woods, playing out left-handed, couldn't reach the green, put his fourth 11 feet right below the hole. I have this a pure right-hander's putt, uphill and from right to left for the par. Tiger Woods sends it on its way, rolling up, missed it on the left-hand side. Can't be doing that out here. 5 par 5s, you've got to take advantage of them. And Tiger Woods not only doesn't birdie, but walks away with a bogey. Tiger Woods 1 over after 2.
I think that's part of the golf course, though. There's a lot of risk-reward type of, and there isn't really anything there except for a bad drive to the right where it got into a spot where he couldn't hit it right-handed and advance it farther up the fairway. But it's narrow enough. It's a fairly wide golf course, but then outside the parameters of the fairway, it's kind of a tight golf course. It's an interesting property.
Justin Rose has a long birdie attempt at the 12th to have an opening hat trick. He's birdied the first 2 holes. 38 feet. This up the slope needs to turn back towards the right from left to right and just goes by the left side. Good pace again for Justin Rose. It's just a foot above the cup. That'll be a par for Rose. Remain 2 under.
It's a good start for Justin, though. He hasn't been playing a lot of really good golf, so it's good to at least see him get off to a nice, good, solid start.
Jon Rahm at the par 3 12th from just the first cut of the collar, 28.5 feet, rolling up towards the hole, and it just ducked to the low side underneath the cup. Pretty good line, just needed more pace on it for Jon Rahm, the second-rate player in the world, and 59th in the 59th, in the FedEx Cup. Have a par to remain 1 under.
Solid golf for John. He's been playing some really solid golf, and I think the par 3s, we talk about the par 5s. To win this golf tournament, I think you're going to have to beat up the par 5s. That's a given that we always talk about. But I don't think you're going to win this tournament by playing these par 3s poorly. I think the par 3s are going to be a huge factor because there's some big numbers that you can make on this golf course on the par 3s, and you got to stay away from those numbers to really get. I think 20 under is going to be the number.
Now Matsuyama, 22 feet. It's from above the hole on the right side. It was a really good shot for Matsuyama. It rolled out a little bit. Downhill putt right to left for Hideki to move to 2 under. Strokes the ball outside to the right. Needs it to turn back to the left, and it does, but just as the ball ran out of pace on the right side. Tap in par 4. Matsuyama remains 1 under.
Let's head to the front nine. Bill Rosinski to you.
Well, some issues for Tony Finau here at the 5th, already hitting his 3rd shot from the thick rough left of the fairway here, and he has tugged that left. And I think that caught some trees and dropped down right below him here. There's a lot of sycamores on this golf course along with oak trees. And Finau's problem was he pulled it way left off the tee, could barely advance it. And he advanced it into that thick rough left side of the fairway. And now his 3rd shot has dropped into the trees short of the green here. So he came to this hole 3 under. He's going to be hitting his 4th. And I don't even think he has a direct shot to get it on the green here. So you got to put it in the fairway first here at this golf course this week. Finau has not done that.
Yeah, and some issues now for the leader early in round 1. Fred Albers, back to you.
Matthew Wolff 1 under after 2 on the tee now at the 12th. It's a par 3 playing 192 yards. This is another tough hole location, 27 on 5 off the left. The green only 38 deep and bunkered on the left-hand side. That ball squirts out to the right into the fringe and is going to stay there. He can use putter from there, but Matthew Wolff may be 35 or so feet away.
Yeah, my gut is telling me that the par 3s will be a set of par 3s that are going to play more in the single digits to difficulty on the golf course than in the double digits. And this is one of them. This is the second hardest hole in the golf course in the early goings. Fred?
I would think a lot of people favored Xander Schauffele this week. Playing back in California, is off to a good start this season. He's 8th in FedEx Cup points and coming off a 2nd-place finish at the CJ Cup at Shadow Creek in Las Vegas. Now on the tee at the par 3 12th is Xander Schauffele. Plays away to this back left hole location. A little bit of wind comes up for the first time today. A little bit of a gust. That's on the right-hand side on the correct level. Make him 20 or so feet, maybe just outside that for birdie. Upcoming for Xander Schauffele at the par 3 12th.
Not a bad play. I mean, it's such a narrow green from left to right, and you just got to make sure that you hit it really straight. Distance control isn't that big of a deal with a hole in the back as long as you don't hit it over the green. You hit it over the green, and you're faced with a very, very fast chip. And now Tiger Woods coming off a bogey. Let's get out to the 12th with Fred.
Okay, Tiger Woods, you have an opportunity for a bounce-back birdie. A perfect lie, good yardage at the par 3 12th hole. Coming off birdie at the par 5, 192 the number here to the back left hole location. That's not a good swing, not a good result. That's wide to the right-hand side, sits down into the rough, and that's going to be an awkward stance. May have to put 1 foot in and 1 foot out of the bunker. Not a good swing out of Tiger Woods. He's 1 over playing our par 3 12th.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. He's going to have green to work with, but as Freddie mentioned, it's going to be a very awkward lie. I don't think he's going to be able to have the exact lie that he wants if he wants to stay on the grass. Let's go to Bill.
Well, Dennis, more issues for Tony Finau. We last left him laying 3 in the tree, short left of the green here at the par 5 fifth. And he really didn't have a shot because of the tree limbs and branches. He could not get it in the air to get it on this elevated green. So he just hit it out low, and it still stayed in the rough. So he's still maybe 10, 15 yards short of the green. And down in that thick rye rough, 3 inches, he's going to be hitting his 4th shot.
Not fun. Not fun at all. This golf course, as I said, the fairways are pretty generous, but once you miss the fairways, there's not a whole lot of room between there and the untaken care of, I guess. What's the word I'm looking for?
Natural area.
Natural area. Yeah, very natural on this property.
Go back to Bill.
And I was mistaken. This is his 5th shot, and this is a beauty. This is way up into the air, and that landed on this green and funneled to this back left hole location and stops just a couple of feet away. But he's going to lose a shot here. So Finau's going to make bogey for sure and go back to -2.
Yeah, he took the left-hand side all the way up to the green, and it's a tough hole. I mean, this par 5 has got water well right. Doesn't really come into play that I remember it. But it's a good par 5, and Tony's made a mess of it, driving it up there in the thick stuff.
Going to leave us with a 9-way tie for the lead at 2 under par. Finau dropping a shot, so they are stacking up. Players off to good starts, and 2 of those players are Justin Rose and Jordan Spieth, going to be among the multitude of co-leaders on a Thursday, Fred Albers.
Tiger Woods did not hit a good tee ball. Let's see if he can come up with a good chip from 45 feet away, playing our par 3 12th hole. Onto the green, now to have some chase. Rolling up, this appears to be nice speed, up tight to the hole, and Tiger Woods in position to escape this hole with a 1-putt par. I'll give you these numbers from last season for Tiger Woods. He's only played 2 rounds this year, has no FedEx Cup points. He was 122nd in driving, 4th in strokes gained approach the green, 145th in strokes gained around the green, and 183rd in putting. Only 23 rounds last season for Tiger Woods.
Those numbers are pretty shocking, though. Driving the ball outside the top 100, but one of the best iron players. Doesn't matter where he drives it from, but his short game and his putting definitely, has hurt him. One of the best putters on the planet, and he's, I don't want to say kind of average, but the numbers say that he's kind of below average, Freddie.
And yet, remember, he is the defending champion of this event. And looking to pass Sam Snead in the all-time win list with 83. Matthew Wolff just off the green, 30 feet away. He'll use putter from this position. The ball will roll out to the left-hand side. Plays that high on the right. This ball has pace. Flagstick is in, approaching the hole. Just missed on the left-hand side. He'll put down a mark, but that's going to go down as a 1-putt par for Matthew Wolff to keep him at 1 under.
That was good effort right there. He looks really comfortable on the greens, as he should. And Freddie does make a good point. 1,000 rounds of golf, that's a lot. I mean, that's playing every day of the week, basically for 3 straight years to get to 1,000. I don't know if he's played that many times, but he has been on this golf course a bunch. So he knows the greens, he knows the tendencies. And honestly, this golf course, they pride themselves on fast greens. So this golf course isn't like different than what I would say I play Torrey Pines, this week or next week. It's a much different golf course than what it's set up for in the tournament. This golf course is basically set up tournament style almost every single day, except during the maintenance time when they're punching the greens or doing some sort of verticutting in the fairways. It is always pristine and in this style most of the time. Fred?
Well, Dennis and I were talking earlier today. It seems like every week I say this is going to be Xander Schauffele's week, and I've come close to being correct. I mean, the guy's 8th in FedEx Cup points, seemingly in contention every week. He leads the tour in strokes gained around the green and is 3rd in strokes gained putting. Chance to show us that ability out here at the par 3 12th hole from 23 feet away. Ball will move from right to left. Up the hill, now down, curving toward the hole, up and out of that really quick. Wasn't his best putt, and he'll walk up and make his par. Matthew Wolff has already made his par. All that remains on the green is Tiger Woods looking for a 1-putt 3 to remain at 1 over.
And Dennis, the non-win for Scheffler last week, really through no fault of his own. He played well enough to win. On Sunday, just got outplayed just by a tad by Jason Kokrak, who finally got in the win column. He's teeing it up this week. He's on the course. Had a big problem at the par 3 third hole. Hit one in the water there, waterfront and right. So he made a triple bogey there. But Kokrak also doing what he did last week. He has made 3 birdies in his first 5 holes. So 3 birdies and a triple. He's even par. We'll see if he can follow it up with another great week, Fred.
Well, that chip of Tiger's rolled out 5.5 feet. Slightly uphill, will move from right to left. This to avoid back-to-back bogeys. Tiger pauses for a moment. Now strokes, the ball rolls up and into the hole. So Tiger Woods has to scramble out here, but puts a 3 onto the card.
And back to Bill on the front nine.
Well, Tony Finau was able to knock in that what turned out to be about a 4-footer for his bogey. But after going birdie eagle to start, he has lost 1 shot to par, so he's at the par 4 6th. Tony Finau -2.
Yeah, and so Finau dropping a shot means we have a logjam. 9 players. Tony Finau, Jordan Spieth, and Justin Rose among them. 9 players tied for the early lead on a Thursday in California this week at Sherwood Country Club. PGA Tour radio coverage of the season-long points race, round 1 of the Zozo Championship. Plenty of opportunities to score at Sherwood Country Club this week for the Zozo Championship. We had a log jam at 2 under par, 9 players just a couple of minutes ago, but now Sebastian Munoz has broken in front. After starting his day with a bogey of 1, he's birdied 4 of his last 5. And now through 6, Sebastian Munoz moves in front at 3 under par, 1 up on 9 golfers, now 2 under, and tied for second. Tony Finau had the lead before losing a shot moments ago at the 5th. A birdie eagle start for Finau today. He's now -2 with a couple of former FedEx Cup champs, Jordan Spieth and Justin Rose also at 2 under. Mackenzie Hughes -2 as well. Carlos Ortiz, Patrick Cantlay, Cameron Smith, Mark Leishman, Gary Woodland make up that large tie for second at 2 under. 1 shot behind the new leader now, Sebastian Munoz. Kevin Sylvester.
Hideki Matsuyama, 89 yards in the fairway, his 3rd at the par 5 13th hole. Matsuyama is 1 under par. 3/4 backswing, low flighted golf ball as that flies in right below the hole and does not get the check as that releases, but still inside of 20 feet for a birdie attempt at the 13th for Hideki Matsuyama at 1 under par.
And Kevin, some of the other notables, John Rahm, Matthew Wolff, Xander Schauffele, all 1 under par, all through 3 holes on that back 9. Jason Kokrak, last week's winner, 3 birdies and a triple. He is even through 6 holes, and Tiger Woods off to a tough start. He's 1 over through 3 holes on the back 9 with a bogey at the par 5 11th.
Zozo Championship round 1. We're in California this week, Thousand Oaks, California, for just 1 year after debuting in 2019 at its Japanese home of Accordia Golf Narashino Golf Club in Chiba, Japan. Sherwood Country Club is not unfamiliar to a lot of these PGA Tour pros. Dennis, a lot of pros, obviously, from California, even growing up before they got to the tour, have had an opportunity to play. And unlike Shadow Creek last week, we had a lot of the pros get there and really had never played that golf course. Certainly, if seen it before. This is very familiar to a lot of golf fans. Served as the home of the Hero World Challenge 2000 to 2013, where Tiger Woods won 5 of those at this course as well, Kevin.
And Justin Rose playing his 3rd, and this is a beauty from 48 feet, and that just goes by below the hole, and it's inside the shadow of the flagstick on the left side here at the par 5 13th. He'll be inside of 5 feet. John Rahm near a drainage area, 72 feet away, and gets it up there, and that, I think it caught a little bit of the hump, and it checks up and now rolling back. This is not the shot John Rahm was trying to execute for his eagle chip from the left side fairway, left of the green, and he'll be outside of 20 feet for his birdie attempt.
Yeah, ball grabbed a little bit and didn't get up on the proper level and came backwards just a little bit. So not the shot that John wanted, but those tight areas around the drainage areas, you know they're going to be a little soft. There's been moisture on the golf course from the sprinkler system for the simple fact that Southern California has been kind of warm. We've had some warm moments where it's been unseasonably warm. We had temperatures in the 90s. So to keep this bent grass happy, it needed a little bit more water. We haven't got it from the sky, but we've had it from the sprinkler system.
And John Rahm rehearsing his stroke here from 25 feet, going up towards that back right location on that slope that the ball did not navigate with that third for Rahm. He is 1 under par. This should move a little right to left. Strokes the golf ball, starts it out towards the right, turning left, needs to stretch. It will not. It was on line, needed more, and Rahm will be disappointed with a par on the 13th hole, but he's 1 under.
Back in the fairway now, Fred Alberts to you.
And a couple hundred yards away, waiting for the green to clear, is the threesome: Tiger Woods, Matthew Wolff, Xander Schauffele. Tiger Woods and Matthew Wolff lays up off this tee and lay up to the right into trouble. Xander Schauffele, a 3-wood, just drilled down the middle. Dennis, this is an unusual par 5 with a split fairway, 323 to the end of the fairway. Then you have about 80 yards to carry, and then to the green.
Yeah, and it's a par 5 that, a lot of players won't be hitting driver on. But if you don't put it in the fairway and you get a bad lie, oh my goodness, you've got a lot to figure out, because it's not a guarantee that at some of this thick grass that you're going to be able to hit it 80 to 100 yards to get the ball onto the other portion of the fairway.
And Hideki Matsuyama from above the hole, downhill slider left to right from 12.5 feet for birdie to reach 2 under. Strokes the ball outside left, turning towards the right, tracking to the cup, but just goes over the outside left edge for Hideki, and tap in par to remain 1 under.
It's a good putt. Does down the hill pretty quick, and it was a good read, just over borrowed slightly. I don't think there's anything wrong with what he did. He didn't hit it with a whole lot of pace, and it missed on that high edge. So he hit a very nice putt, just couldn't get it to be done. And these par 5s, if you put the ball in the fairway off the tee, you're going to be really frustrated if you don't make birdie.
Well, if I were on the bag for Justin Rose for this putt just outside of 4 feet, I'd tell him just inside left edge on that side. There's got to be a little bit of movement towards the right. It will be delicate for Rose, trying to reach 3 under par. And he took his time to make sure the line was right. Steps around. He goes with that modified claw grip. And rehearsing the stroke for Justin Rose, who currently is tied for 181 in FedEx Cup standings. That'll certainly improve with that putt for sure, projecting him upward as he makes the birdie. He's 3 under.
Great start for Justin. It's been a struggle, but he's starting to, play a little better maybe, and hopefully get a little more consistent. Some of the good golf's been good, but he's been playing erratic a little bit, and that's nothing that we've seen from Justin Rose. Erratic was never part of his game once he established himself as one of the top players in the world.
All right, now another featured threesome playing in there. 13, Fred.
Matthew Wolff playing his 3rd shot in. Remember, missed this fairway wide to the right. Has well outside of 200 yards. That's going to hit into the bank of the hill and roll away. So he's going to have a chip for birdie, maybe 20 yards or so away. Xander Schauffele up next. Beautiful drive. He'll go for this green into. He's playing quickly. Already has the club and walks in. A little bit downwind as well. This is easily reachable at the par 5. 13th measures 546. Xander ready to play. Rehearses the swing. 3/4 of the way back. Now resets. And Xander Schauffele lets fly. Starts that out on the right-hand side, trying to ride a little bit of wind we have here, and turns it over. Going to get hole high, but in that chipping area to the left-hand side. That's not a bad miss. A lot of green there to work with. Make him some 25 yards away. Would be chipping for eagle.
Yeah, that's actually a good miss. You don't want to miss on that right-hand side. Miss left. That's over by where John Rahm just played from, but he's got a little better lie. He's not on that downslope as close to the drain. Shouldn't be too tough from there. He'll be able to flight that a little higher and get it to stop on the proper level.
Front 9 now, Bill Brzezinski, back to you.
Well, here at the par 5 5th, Mark Leishman has a good look at birdie to get to 3 under. Laid up with his second, had 128, and just stuck it above right of this back left hole location. Touch putt will move to his left down the slope. Missed it left edge. That was all about the speed. That was going to move quickly to his left. And so he's going to finish up here. This will be a 2-putt par. Leishman puts the putter blade behind the ball, and that goes down. So he remains 2 under through his first 5.
And back to Fred again.
And Earl, bad drives have Tiger Woods playing defense on these par fives. Remember, picked up a bogey back at the 11th, hit it into the trees with his drive out here at the 13th now. Tried to clear that 80-yard barranca that I described earlier, put it in there, and then tried to get it close to the green and instead put it in a bunker that may be 50 yards away. He's going to be lying 3, still 50 yards away in the sand. Tiger Woods 1 over on the round, playing our par 5 13th hole.
Wow. Tiger not playing the par 5s anywhere near decently to this point. 2 par 5s, and he struggled on both of them. He hasn't even completed this one, and he already lies 3. Well short of the green and definitely out of position.
Yeah, so it's been a struggle early for the reigning champ, the defending champ, Tiger Woods, +1. See if he can escape another par 5 in 60 seconds.
The PGA Tour and PGA Tour
Near the lead, 3 under par, the Zozo Championship at Sherwood. This 1-year move from Japan due to travel restrictions and issues still being dealt with throughout the world of sports and, let's face it, the world in general due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This week, though, another tremendous field. Had a great one last week at Shadow Creek. 25 of the top 30 in the official world ranking. Teeing it up at Sherwood this week, Fred.
And Tiger Woods 49 yards away in the fairway bunker, hitting his 4th shot into our par 5 13th hole. Takes a really wide stance here, a deep knee bend, and plays away. Caught that heavy. I don't think that's going to get there. No, sir. Well, quite frankly, Dennis, I haven't seen Tiger Woods hit too many good shots yet. He's still a yard off the putting surface. He may be 60 feet away, and that will be for par upcoming.
I'm going to go with the opening tee ball, Fred. It's about the only one that I've seen that's been pretty good. Hit a very average wedge there. Didn't play a great shot at the par 3 and made a mess of the par 5. So I agree with you 100%. There's a lot of rust on Tiger Woods right now. And to give you an idea how good the field is, I think more than anything, saying that the defending champion Tiger Woods needed a sponsor exemption to play in the event says everything about how strong this field is. It's just the nature of what this tournament is all about. The Zozo Championship that was part of the Asia Swing that was played in Japan last year that had to move here, as we mentioned, due to the pandemic.
And one of the co-leaders, Justin Rose, needed a sponsor exemption to get in, Fred.
Now Matthew Wolf 70 feet away. This is for birdie at our par 5 13th hole. He stands at 1 under. A lot of green here to work with from off the front of the putting surface onto the green. Now needs to chase up to the correct level. It will. Going to come up short on that left-hand side. A par put up coming from Matthew Wolf at our par 5 13th hole. His problems also began with a wayward drive out to the right.
I like that the rough's long enough right now where it's not whack-out rough, but the players have been taking cautious steps in the rough to not just try to go for it. Matthew Wolf is a strong kid, and for him to lay out sideways and not go for that carry that Tiger tried to pull off says a lot about how thick and lush the rough is. It doesn't have to be long if it's hydrated. And the fact that we've got so much moisture coming out of the sky overnight with this low marine layer, you almost think it's drizzled overnight when you wake up in the morning. So plenty of thickness and moisture in this rough. Freddie?
I mentioned earlier, Xander Schauffele leads the tour in strokes gained around the green. Number 1 stands at 1 under par, birdied the par 5 11th hole. Now for eagle at our par 5 13th. 70 feet away. About 30 of that is fringe. Chips that onto the green. Now onto the correct level. Now needs to release out to the right-hand side. Checked up on him. And maybe 10 feet remaining for the birdie out here for Xander Schauffele. 1 under in the round, playing our par 5 13th hole.
Yeah, that shot looks pretty straightforward, but if I remember correctly, it's a lot lower down there in that lower area than you think. The visual of how much below the green you are, you just don't feel like you're comfortable enough to throw it up on top of the side hill lie, and he kind of drived it into the hill. And now Tiger trying to get it up, Freddie, up and down.
In the 50-foot range from off the fringe, rolls that up, and that's going to be short, well short of the hole, and that's for bogey for Tiger Woods. That maybe 10 feet remaining to save the 6, and at best leave this green 2 over.
There's nothing that I've seen from him that really looks good, all other than the fact that the tempo, there's not a lot of speed, and I don't want to say it's slow, it just looks under control, but he's not hitting quality golf shots with the action that I'm watching. I'm watching a very simple looking golf swing. It doesn't look mechanically like he's stuck or anything is wrong, but he's just not hitting the ball out of the center of the club face, even around the green. That was a pretty straightforward chip shot right there that Tiger Woods did not hit very well.
And not up to Tiger standards, certainly this start. And a place we talked, Dennis, he's very familiar with. And it's 1 year, a bunch, that Hero World Challenge 5 times. So he's one of the guys. And, coming in as defending champ, even though that was in Japan, you were looking toward, regardless of the layoff and the little golf that he's played, it's kind of like riding a bike, you would think, form at Sherwood. Not so far today.
No, I agree. And, he mentioned the fact that the course is a little different than the last time he's played there for the simple fact that they softened some of the greens. They're all the same, but he said that it's more friendly for the membership. I don't necessarily agree with it. Let's get back out on the golf course to Fred.
And Dennis, Xander Schauffele, 11 feet to go to 2 under par. Takes the putter back. The ball rolling up to the hole. Missed that. On the left-hand side, disappointing for Xander to be 70 feet away, hole high, and not get that up and down. Turns into a 2-putt par for Xander Schauffele. He is 1 under now through 4.
Yeah, not his favorite. And the reason why I said what I said about the greens, it might be a little more friendly for the members, but they lost a couple of hole locations because of the green speeds that they liked them at. So they softened some of those edges. And when you soften greens, it's a lot easier, I believe, to make a 12-footer that breaks 4 inches from left to right. It's pretty easy to see what direction it's going to go. But when you've got a really straight putt from 6 to 8, 9, 10 feet, and they're 11 or 12 on the step meter, I think it's a lot harder to make putts on straighter greens where there's not a definitive motion, and you kind of lose half the hole when they're really straight like that.
Tiger needs to make one here, a putt to salvage a bogey at another par 5, Fred.
And remember, the last time the Hero World Challenge was played here, these greens were mainly Poana. Now they are pure bent grass. 9 feet to save bogey at our par 5, 13th for Tiger Woods, and remain just 1 over. Sneaks a look down the line and sends the ball on its way, rolling up and by the hole. Wow, a double bogey for Tiger Woods. That is tough to rebound from. I know it's early, and I should remind you that when Tiger won the Zozo back in Japan last year, he bogeyed his first 3 holes, but that is a tough start.
That is a tough start, and you're absolutely correct that he did bogey those first 3. So it's not any kind of panic, not to mention the fact there's no cut this week. So you've got all 4 days to do the damage. But when's the last time that Tiger Woods made a double bogey on a par 5 and he hit it every time? We're not hitting it in any penalty area or taking it unplayable or something like that. It's just really been a struggle for Tiger Woods, Freddie.
Well, Matthew Wolff has been a little errant off the tee on the par 5s, but has scraped it around the first 3 holes in 1 under par. Needs to make a putt from in the 6-foot range to save his par out here after losing his drive right, chipping out short of the green and chipped up to this position for the par to remain at 1 under. Matthew Wolff rolls that up to the hole, hit the lip, and spit it out. My goodness, this group, 3 All-Stars, Tiger Woods, Matthew Wolff, and Xander Schauffele, going to play this hole in 3 over par.
All missed on the same basic general side of the hole, too. It's like, what are they not seeing that is not there? Because they all read it very similarly, and it was incorrect. Let's go to Bill on the front.
Lonzo Griffin is 2 under par through his first 5 holes, and a good tee shot here at the dogleg left par 4 6th. 164 right edge of the fairway, and the flag today, 29 back and 5 from the right. Big divot on the follow-through. Not a hint of breeze out here right now, and that lands just shy of the hole, and that'll spin to a stop inside 5 feet. Beauty by Lonzo Griffin, a chance to get the 3 under par.
Well, and that was the lead. It's not any longer because Sebastian Munoz, who had birdied 4 holes in a 5-hole stretch, went to 7 in front with the lead, Dennis. He jarred his second shot from 168 at the par 4-7, so 4 birdies and an eagle now for him in a 6-hole stretch. After a bogey to start the day, he's 5 under and in front.
That's incredible. And, I was looking at the shot link and seeing, why are the other 2 players already posted and he hasn't got it? Where's his ball at? They haven't been able to come up with it yet on shot link. And I was wondering, maybe he's in the front bunker and they hadn't got an eye on it yet. And he actually holed the shot. Maybe shot link didn't believe itself. But congratulations to him. What a run. Birdie, 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 par, birdie, eagle in 2 through 7. That's pretty impressive. 6 under for 6 holes to put him 5 under par now after that opening bogey at the first.
Justin Rose, 3 under par. 179 yards to the left center hole location at the par 4 14th. Abbreviated finish for Rose as he flights this ball down and lands this below the hole, and now it starts to release towards the hole inside of 20 feet. Chance to reach 4 under par. Jon Rahm also in good shape playing with Justin Rose. Rahm will be inside of 15 feet for birdie.
It's good to see Jordan Spieth, one of their sponsor exemptions, playing well this week. He's a couple under par through 5 holes on the back 9. He's on that signature par 3 with the pond that fronts the green. Just a beautiful little hole, the 15th. It's one that you really got to know where the wind is. And the problem is in that little corner of the property, it swirls around a bunch. You feel it. It's never, the flagstick is never doing what it feels like on the tee. And that always causes indecision on a par 3.
Well, no indecision
Sunday last week, but starting off well this week.
Jon Rahm above the hole at the 14th, 14 feet, strokes it quickly down the slope, picking up pace towards the cup off the left side, and the rollout is about 5 feet below the cup, so we'll have some work for par. That was a really quick putt down the slope for Jon Rahm, 1 under playing the 14th.
We're going to say that a lot. Down the slope, if you're putting from above the hole, you're going to have to pay attention because there's plenty of pace in these greens. My guess is that they look to be a little over 12 right now on the stem meter, and there are some places on these greens that you just don't want to hit it. There's all the quadrants on these greens, and it's definitely a quadrant golf course where there's a side of the hole that you'd much rather be on than the other side. You'll take 15 feet up the hill than 6 or 7 feet down the hill for sure.
And part of this terrific field, number 2 in the world, Dustin Johnson leading those 25 out of the top 30 in the golf rankings to start this week. So limited field and a good one, Kevin.
And Justin Rose will have 12 feet for birdie. He is just below the hole, but not as quick as the putt Rahm had. This will move right to left for Rose. Just taps it, rolling down, turning towards the cup and down. Justin Rose has the flat stick working today. He has 4 birdies through his first 5 holes. He's 4 under par.
How about that? Good start for Justin Rose, man. It's good to see him starting to play a little better, but he has played and has had some moments. The consistency factor for Justin Rose has really been the issue. He'll play a good one and then kind of struggle a little bit. So hopefully this is kind of a turn in what's going on with his sponsor's exemption. He's taken good advantage of it.
Hideki Matsuyama has 4.5 feet, but this is for bogey. He drove the ball the right rough. Second shot stayed in the right rough. Third shot was ended up 50 feet away, and this putt from 4.5 feet will go down for bogey for Hideki Matsuyama, so that'll drop Hideki back to even par.
Something about Matsuyama's putting right now I like. It looks like it's marrying up again. He's a little wider. I like the things that he's doing. I'm not sure if the numbers are really panning out, but he looks very comfortable over the putter, which you don't see from Hideki Matsuyama all that often.
Jon Rahm is below the hole after that birdie putt, you recall, ran by the left edge and lipped out 4 feet for par to remain 1 under for Jon Rahm. Takes his time now, slides that spider putter behind the ball, spreads his feet. Rahm taking his time with this one little forward press, putt on the way, and down it goes for Jon Rahm to get the par to remain 1 under.
Well, not enough pars for the defending champion Tiger Woods, coming off double at a par 5 3 over, tied for last right now among the golfers on the course. Tiger has missed another fairway at 14, so we'll find out if he can straighten things out in his opening round in 60 seconds. In Oaks, California, a private club with many famous names as notable members: Kenny G, Wayne Gretzky, Gene Seymour, Will Smith, and a famous defending champ, Tiger Woods. But he's not off to a good start today, Fred Albers.
Another place where they have refused my membership, or apparently lack of funding in the Albers household. Tiger Woods trying to play a low draw from the native area at our par 4 14th hole. Don't believe that's going to reach the green, but not a bad play from where he was. No, it did just sneak onto the putting surface. Hit a low draw from outside at 200 yards. Still going to have maybe 50 feet remaining, but that was a quality play after a bad drive out of Tiger Woods.
Yeah, to get it out of the native area and be able to play that ball and get it on the green. Some of it's green, some of it's brown. It just depends upon how close it is to the kind of the sprinkler situation. But at least Tiger's got a birdie putt after missing another fairway.
Justin Rose on the tee at the par 3 15th, one of the more picturesque par 3s you'll see with the mountains in the background and the water to carry and the rocks in front. He doesn't like it. 176. He's pushed this a little bit towards the right, and it does make it on the surface, though. He didn't think he made it. He did. He found the putting green below the hole to the right side. Let's go back a hole to Fred Albers.
193 yards for Xander Schauffele. Oh, we get a back off. Playing the par 4 14th hole. This is an elevated tee, 466 yards. Plays downhill, and I think it's a tough hole location. Flagstick is 25 on, but the bunker eats 20 paces into the green. The idea would be to hit something out to the right of the flagstick, then use the contours of the putting surface to curve it toward the flagstick. Xander Schauffele trying to hit a big draw. That's well out to the right-hand side. That baby really needs to work. Lands that off the green, bounces onto the putting surface. Tracks down toward the flagstick. Not nearly enough, though. That's going to be maybe 40 feet away for Xander Schauffele. He's playing the 14th at 1 under.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of the Zozo Championship at Sherwood, part of the season-long points race for the FedEx Cup. And as we do at the top and bottom of every hour in our live play-by-play coverage, time now for a leaderboard update from Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks, California.
Well, we have co-leaders again. Justin Rose off to a good start today. 4 under through 5 of the back 9. And Sebastian Munoz, after that run of 4 birdies and an eagle, drops one. Missed the green at the par 3/8. Could not get up and down. Missed a 12-footer for par. So Munoz and Justin Rose are now tied for the lead at 4 under. 1 back, Mackenzie Hughes, Gary Woodland. Lonto Griffin tied for 3rd, 3 under par. Those players also still on their opening 9s. Hughes just making the turn to the back 9. Then at 2 under, tied for 5th. Jordan Spieth headlines that group at 2 under par. Matthew Fitzpatrick, Tyrrell Hatton, Russell Henley, and Satoshi Kodaira also at 2 under. Russell Henley, Brendan Todd, Cameron Smith, Tony Finau, Patrick Cantlay as well. Lurking 2 under, just 2 back, Kevin.
John Rahm at the 15th, downhill 176. He's 1 under. Shot on the way and asking for it to go left, but it's going to land on the right side and hole high right. Good shot for John Rahm inside of 20 feet and a chance for birdie at the 15th.
A couple other notables. How about Xander Schauffele, last week's runner-up? He's 1 under par through 4, playing the back 9 alongside Tiger Woods, who's really been a struggle. Bogey and a double bogey at the par 5s. Tiger Woods playing the 14th. He's currently +3.
On the LPGA Tour, on the leaderboard this week at the LPG Drive-On Championship at Reynolds Lake Econo, it is Brianna Doe tied with Jennifer Song for the lead at 4 under par. Several players are 1 shot back and a tie for 3rd, including Daniel King and Lindsey Weaver.
And at Sherwood, we've already had a bunch of changes atop the leaderboard. It's now 2. Justin Rose, Sebastian Munoz, 4 under, Bill.
The 7th is the par 4. It's called the Rock Hole. There are 4 huge rocks right in the middle of the fairway. They call it an outcropping of rocks. And it's about over 310, I think, to get to those rocks. Lonto Griffin played to the right of it. Second shot from 158 after coming off birdie at the last to get the 3 under, and he's not going to like this. I got a back left hole location. That ball lands in the middle right portion of the green. He'll have a birdie putt, but that's well outside 50 feet. Right now he's 3 under, playing the par 4 7th.
It's not that easy to do, to be outside 50 feet. I know that some of the greens are pretty big, but for the most part, it's pretty hard. I mean, the greens have got some intimate areas, and if you're outside that 50-foot range or 40-foot range, you're going to have a lot of work ahead of you trying to figure it out on this property. It's such a fun little golf course to play. And I say little because of the par 5s. I don't remember being forced to hit too many long irons, but as a player back in my day when I was fairly long, it was a stressful golf course playing one of the rounds that I played with because it was a scramble, and everybody was trying to get me to hit driver and force it into these little areas. Not a fun golf course to try to play that way. It's much more fun to play to where Jack Nicklaus says you should play it. Short and in the fairway, short of the bunkers, and play there. The greens set up better, all that stuff. It really is a golf course that's very technical off the tee.
Well, in Sherwood Country Club, the name is no accident. Robin Hood, The Adventures of Robin Hood, both were shot here, featuring stars like Errol Flynn, Olivia de Havilland, and this course took its name from that. So at Sherwood Country Club, you can get into Sherwood Forest if you're not careful, even though there's wide landing areas, wide fairways. These holes, all of them are surrounded, so there is trouble lurking if you're not careful. You just have to stray pretty far, Fred.
Yeah, it's a good golf course where it rewards good shots and punishes wayward approaches. But these fairways, when I scouted the course, I thought they were generous, and I thought the greens were receptive. I thought we'd see birdies, and we are seeing them, just not out of this group of Tiger Woods, Matthew Wolff, and Xander Schauffele. Tiger Woods from birdie, this from maybe 70 feet away, plays that way right to the right-hand side. Now curving in, this is nicely paced, creeping up toward the hole. This could go, it did! Oh, look at the smile on Tiger Woods' face, flashing the white teeth, my goodness. We'll get the exact distance for you, but I had that somewhere around 70 feet away for Tiger Woods for a bounce back after a double.
That was pretty incredible right there. That putt, he probably played at least 15 feet of break, and the last 20 feet were twice as fast as the first 40 feet. So that's really well judged. As Tiger gets it to go, and he's finally got something to smile about. Earl, it's taken a while.
Yeah, and like you said, Dennis, that was from long distance. That was from suburban Los Angeles down near the city. We're about 45 minutes an hour away, and that one came from downtown for Tiger Woods, and he needed it after that slow start. But Fred pointed out last year, and a year ago in Japan, Tiger bogeyed his first three, ended up rallying to birdie 9 of his next 15, shot 64, and you know where that ended up on the weekend with the record-tying win number 82. So maybe another comeback on the way today. Tiger on the board finally, Fred.
No, does anyone have a better smile than Tiger Woods? Just great to see that. Xander Schauffele for his birdie. He's also playing a lot of break on this. Plays this way to the side. Now it catches the slope. That's going to roll up toward the hole. Not going to go in, but that's a really nice effort. Should turn into a 2-putt par for Xander Schauffele. That would keep him at 1 under. He'll put down a mark. He's inside of 3 feet.
To the front nine now, Bill Rosinski, to you.
Lonto Griffin's going to have to work for birdie here at the 7th. 51 feet. Up a ridge, and he's got to take it out to the right. Slope will kick it left. Boy, there's a lot of pace on that putt as it climbs up, and he looks at his caddy, and boy, that was a misjudgment on speed. He blew that by outside 10 feet, and that comebacker will be for par, trying to stay 3 under.
Might be the most solid shot he hit on the hole. That thing was absolutely hammered, so a little work for Lonto there at the 7th, and maybe he can save his par to stay 3 under par, but he's going to have a little work. That was absolutely annihilated.
Tiger's start of the back nine has not repeated a number yet, Dennis. A 4, a 6, a 3, a 7, and a 3 now. So he's repeated the 3, and that was a good one because the other 3 was at a par 3, the 12th hole. He's finally on the board with that bomb, nearly 90 feet there at the 14th, Fred.
All kinds of trouble after a wayward drive for Matthew Wolff. A bogey putt now from outside of 15 feet, gently down the slope. That's not going to go in. And that's going to turn into a nasty double bogey, all set up by a wayward drive out of Matthew Wolff.
Well, Tiger might have the high straight, but high straights don't really play well on your scorecard. You don't want one of those, that's for sure. To give you guys a little bit of a geography lesson, in Southern California, you've got 2 beaches that basically face south. One is the Long Beach, kind of Orange County area there, and then up in Malibu's also a south-facing beach. So with that being said, when you say you're driving up the coast 101, you're actually through that area, you're moving from east to west and not north to south. So when we say that the golf course is actually south of Highway 101, it gives you a better idea, and that is closer to the ocean for the simple fact that it's a north or a south-facing beach.
John Rahm, 13.5 feet for birdie from hole high right at the par 3 15th, rolling on the way towards the right side and stays on the right side. Thought it would turn right to left, but it just stayed straight for John Rahm. He tap in par to remain 1 under.
tough set of greens to read. I just, that is what I remembered more about the property. It was a lot more fun to play the second time around when I got to play my own ball and I wasn't trying to hit all these bombs and play a scramble. But the greens were very difficult to read. I really appreciated the fact that we had a caddy in our group that I was doing battle with the first probably 4 or 5 holes, and finally I gave in and just said, where do I hit it? Is it fast, medium, or slow? And let's go that way. The first time I got around this property.
Justin Rose, 11 feet. Remember, he did not like the tee ball, but liked the result. 11 feet on the way, good pace towards the cup, and he walks it right to the bottom. Justin Rose, his 5th birdie, his first 6 holes. Yeah, go ahead and smile, Justin. 5 under par.
If he's not leading in strokes gained, there's no chance. Oh, he is leading in strokes gained. Pretty impressive. Over 50 feet worth of putts made in the early goings for Justin Rose, getting off to a very nice start.
Well, last year, the Zozo Championship became the first PGA Tour event held in Japan, and that's going to be the scene, Tokyo, where Justin Rose is going to defend his gold medal next year at the delayed Summer Olympics at the end of next summer, 2021. Fred?
Earl Tiger Woods playing into our par 3 15th from 176, coming off that spectacular long-distance birdie putt. Ball in the air, lands hole high and going to chase out. At 30 feet or so upcoming for Tiger Woods, he stands at 2 over.
And Bill, to you on the front 9.
Here at the par 4 7th, Lonto Griffin, 10 feet away for par to stay at -3. Sends this down a little slope. Good-looking putt and down into the middle. Oh, that's a nice par. And that'll keep him 3 under, going to the par 3 8th.
And a par 3 at 15 back there to Fred.
Elevated tee, water in front of the green, and a tight hole location. Everything you'd like to have in a par 3 out here at the 15th. Once again, the number 176, and Xander Schauffele has the box. He is bogey-free and 1 under. 1 birdie coming back at the par 5, 11th hole. And Xander sends that ball on its way. Starts out on the right-hand side, needs to turn over a little bit for him. And that ball straightens out, but a fine play to within about 20 feet or so upcoming for Xander Schauffele. He'll be putting for birdie at our par 3 15th.
Yeah, it's not a bad play. Just basically you take the hole out of play and you play to the middle of the green. It's not that massive. It's one of those things where if you just put it in the middle of the green and maybe you make 1 birdie, don't make any mistakes. And this, you can add it up here. You can start making a bad number here at the par 3 if you don't pay attention.
Let's go to the 8th hole, Bill Rosinski.
Well, after the par save at 7, Lonto Griffin on the tee here at 8, the par 3. 223 yards, elevated tee, and the flag is 15 up, 11 from the right. A little backstop if you take it past the flag. No, he's going to land it just short left of the flag. That's still a good shot. And that's outside 10 feet. He'll have that for birdie, trying to get to -4.
And a chance to get within 1 of the lead. The leader is Justin Rose toward start on the back 9. 5 under through 6 for the former FedEx Cup champ Justin Rose to jump in front on a Thursday. PGA Tour radio coverage of the 7th of 50 FedEx Cup events for this season is underway. Round 1 of the Zozo Championship at Sherwood.
2 over.
That's a good point. And that's the thing. Tiger needs to string some holes together. And that's really the first hole that he's basically deposited in the middle of the green and kind of rolled it up there and made a putt. I mean, the last hole when he made a birdie, he was out of position on the front of the green and he had to make an 85-footer. So let's see if he can kind of string a couple of solid holes together and see if he can actually hit a fairway. I'm not sure if he hit driver at number 10. A lot of the players lay up there at the 10th hole. But that's only fairway that Tiger's hit in the early stages.
Last week's runner-up at the CJ Cup at Shadow Creek, Xander Schauffele, part of that feature group. He's next, Fred.
And Xander regretted having 1 bad round at Shadow Creek in the CJ Cup. Said, to win on the PGA Tour, your bad round has to be even par or better. And he just let the round slip away with him one day. Xander Schauffele, 23 feet and 2 under par at our par 3 15th hole. Back through. The ball rolling up. Going to miss that on the right-hand side. Never had the correct line. Started that at the hole. Needed to start at high left. And that'll be a 2-putt par for Xander Schauffele. He is bogey-free. He's 1 under.
Xander's played 2 events this year, finished 5th at the U.S. this season, finished 5th at the U.S. Open, and finished 2nd last week. If you go back last year, where in this event was his first tournament of the year playing in Japan, I'm going to get back to this because this is pretty amazing how well he's played. Let's go out to Bill.
Well, Dennis, we got Alonzo Griffin with a good look for birdie here at the par 3 8th, just inside 12 feet. Should move a little bit to his right. Just to get the 4 under par. Ball is moving to the cup and dead center again. Flat stick's been good. That's a birdie at 8. He's to 4 under.
That's a good start for him, no question about it. Xander, how about this? Zozo Championship tied for 12th. Lost in a playoff, if you remember correctly, the very next week in China at the World Golf Championships HSBC Champions. He ended up cruising, playing pretty good, and then he lost the tournament, if you remember, in that playoff, the Century Tournament of Champions, to Justin Thomas. Go down the list, he tied for 3rd at the Charles Schwab Challenge when we came back from the pandemic. He missed a putt on the 18th hole to be in that playoff. And then you look again, towards the end of the year, what did he do? He finished 2nd at the Tour Championship. 3 seconds, a 3rd, 16 of the 18 events he played in. He finished in the top 25, and he's continuing the good play. Who's played better than that in the last calendar year?
Well, and I'm with you on that, and we talked a lot about him last week and how still as a Tour champion and a 4-time winner on the PGA Tour, he kind of still flies under everybody's radar, and this is his year, Dennis. He kind of has the every other season thing going. A couple of seasons ago, won twice, the HSBC Champions and the Century Tournament of Champions, and 4 seasons ago, the first 2 wins culminated by the Tour Championship. So the record would show this is going to be Xander's season, at least a couple of wins maybe in the offing, and he's got a lot of opportunities with the super season this year, 50 events in the PGA Tour.
Yeah, and you know, knowing Xander well enough now, he's not a guy that's excited about all those finishes. He's frustrated more than he's excited about all those finishes. He wants to get back in the winner's circle. He's not happy with these second places at all.
At the par 5 16th, Justin Rose took iron off the tee. It's a dogleg right, so positioning certainly key, and laid up on his 2nd in the fairway of 113 yards to a back left hole location. Again, positioning key here because trees line the fairway. There's a creek that runs across the middle of the fairway, but Justin Rose navigating well so far. Again, 113 yards remaining for his 3rd shot. He's 5 under par.
And a great start for Justin Rose to lead it by 1 on a Thursday at -5. You are listening to coverage of the Zozo Championship, part of the season-long points race for the FedEx Cup on PGA Tour Radio. It's the opening round of the Zozo Championship at Sherwood. Earl Forsey along with Dennis Paulson and our PGA Tour radio team near the city of Los Angeles, about 45 miles west of downtown LA. We're 35 miles northwest of Santa Monica, 18 miles north of Malibu and the Pacific Ocean, hanging out in California for this weekend. A 1-year move for this tournament from Japan after the Zozo Championship debuted last season, first ever PGA Tour event held in Japan. So because of all the travel restrictions and the kind of reshuffling of the schedule, 1 year, Dennis, in California, another California tournament this week, playing Sherwood Country Club, which we've mentioned has hosted tournament golf in the past, hosted an event, PGA Tour Champions, the PowerShares QQQ Championship, also was host of the Shark Shootout for a while, hosted by Greg Norman, Tiger's Hero World Challenge, and of course it was the site of that showdown at Sherwood between Tiger and David Duval when they were playing primetime golf under the lights. Those great events they used to have was, if I can remember right, they were doing it the Monday night before the football season started. So before you got Monday Night Football back for the season, you got a little Monday Night Golf, and Tiger Woods was a big part of that.
Yeah, they were fun. I mean, they had a couple of team matches, too. It was really a blast to be a part of that and watching those things. And what's really interesting is that very rarely do we come to a venue that the folks that are watching, the viewers, have seen the golf course more than a lot of the players that are playing this week.
That John Rahm, 114 yards, middle of the fairway, trying to attack a back left hole location and spins it back above the cup and gets it to stop. It's above the hole on the right side for Jon Rahm in pretty good shape. So he'll be inside of 15 feet. Justin Rose just a yard closer with wedge in hand. Back left, it's on an upper portion of this green. Playing the par 5 16th, one of 3 par 5s on the back 9 of this golf course. Rose 5 under. Good swing here. Below the hole, it hops up, but it's going to come back down the slope just a little bit towards the left. Pretty good shape, though, inside of 20 feet and a chance to reach 6 under.
Fred mentioned a little earlier about the hole locations and where they sit and how many of them on the back 9 are 3 or 4 or 5 from the edge, and there's really none on the front 9. That's more of a feature of the golf course where you've got a lot of slopes that push in, and there's also bubble and roll effect. So it's hard to put them 3 because they're up against the slope, maybe because of a backstop that you're playing to, or Jack has a lot of little soft edges what rolls off, and those 2 or 3 or 4 yards around the green aren't pinnable areas. Now, if the whole location is 6 on the green, it could be only 2 from where it might gather right off the green. So the whole locations on paper look pretty simple, but they're actually stuffed pretty nicely near some sort of a feeder that's in every one of these greens.
And we've had players make the turn on both 9s now, so scoring for the day, at least early, it's about 2 shots under par, 70.07, Bill.
Well, Alonzo Griffin is 4 under par as he plays this 9th hole. Middle of the fairway, 177, his second shot. 24 up 5 from the right is the hole location. And he lands this just shy of the flag. That'll release, trying to get a little bit closer. That's a nice play by Alonzo Griffin, who has 5 birdies on the card. Birdied 1 and 2, bogeyed 3, but then he came back with birdies at 5, 6, 8. And he's outside 12 feet here. He's got a chance to make the turn at -5 if this goes in.
Playing some good golf. Like I said, he played really well last week. Also struggled a little bit on Sunday. I really thought he would play well. When he gets going, he'll make some birdies. And I love the way he has decided to play golf. When he ended up winning in Houston, he spoke about, I play a little more conservative now. I don't make stupid mistakes. And ironically, I make more birdies playing less aggressively than I did when I was overly aggressive, because I'd put myself in bad places and then I'd play even more crazy. And now golf has become much simpler and I'm making more birdies doing it this way. I don't know why, but that's what I'm doing.
Justin Rose, he has played strategically here on the par 5 16th, and will try to cash in from 16 feet. He's already made 5 birdie putts today. This one up the slope, and he has this lined up, just looks to be on the left side of the cup. Starts this out rolling up. Very good line, center and down. Boy, it just looks like a bushel basket right now for Justin Rose as he makes the 16-footer to move to 6 under.
You just move from first to 0. That's the only number you can go to when you're putting this well. You're better than the best number 1 putter right now. Really impressive. Man, that ball was just, there was no way that ball was going to miss. There was absolutely no chance rolling end over end. Just right at center, but it's a beautiful stroke. He's playing aggressive and seeing the lines right now on the greens.
Jon Rahm from the opposite side of the hole. This should be a little quicker down the slope from 14 feet away. And he's playing alongside Justin Rose and wondering, when can I get one of these to drop? He had a lip out a few holes ago. And this should just be a short stroke. Doesn't need much on this to get it to the hole. Rahm, and 59th in the FedEx Cup, second-ranked player in the world, coming off a great season and a 4th FedEx Cup finish. And this on the way to the Cup, and he gets it right to left, center down for Jon Rahm. Perhaps a little education from Rose on the other side. He moves to 2 under.
I think Rose's putt on the other side helped him a bunch coming from the opposite direction. That putt was breaking right to left, but at the very end, it flattened out and went straight. And if you saw Justin Rose's putt, it was inside right the whole way and never broke more to the right. It stayed inside the hole. So he knew that putt, as it slowed down, was going to straighten out, and he made it. Well done.
And very well done for Justin Rose. He's birdied 6 of his first 7, so you want to keep pace with him, Fred Alberts, you better make some birdies.
Well, we have 2 perfect drives out here at the par 5 16th hole. They belong to Matthew Wolff and Xander Schauffele. The bad drive, Tiger Woods. There's a red line penalty area, a creek that runs down that side. Tiger Woods found the penalty area. In and one, drops two, has taken his drop. He's 330 out, so his third is going to be a layup on our par 5.
Yeah, there's actually a creek that crosses the fairway twice here. It starts up the right-hand side, the one that he's fallen into in that penalty area. It crosses the fairway and then goes up the left-hand side and then cuts back across and misses the green on the right-hand side. Not very close to the green on the right-hand side, but it meanders on both sides. So Tiger had to lay up now, and he's just stay away from the par 5s, man. The par 5s are killing Tiger Woods. He's played them 3 over par, and he's going to be hitting his 4th shot into the par 5 from outside 100 yards.
Members of our broadcast team wear proud to wear apparel provided by Cutter & Buck, an official licensee of the PGA Tour and a top premium branded supplier featuring all-weather apparel for active lifestyles, both on and off the course. If you want to learn more or find a retailer near you, just visit cutterbuck.com.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of the Zozo Championship at Sherwood from Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks, California. And as we do at the top and bottom of every hour in our live play-by-play coverage, time now for a leaderboard update brought to you by MasterCard. Tap and go with your MasterCard, the simple, secure way to pay.
Justin Rose goes out in the back nine. He's hit all 7 greens, and 6 of those for him, 1 putt. So that means Justin Rose has made 6 birdies already today to take the lead.
16 feet. He's already made 5 birdie putts today. Starts this out rolling up. Very good line, center and down. Boy, it just looks like a bushel basket right now for Justin Rose as he makes the 16-footer to move to 6 under.
So he's setting the pace, but a lot of players also making birdies trying to keep pace with him, Bill.
Well, on to Griffin now, 13 feet for birdie at 9. This will move a tad to his left. Starts this out right, making its way to the cup, turning left, looking good, and another one right in the heart of the cup. He's to 5 under, 6 birdies and a bogey as he makes the turn, going to 10.
Heading to the back nine where Justin Rose is on that birdie run. So it's Rose 6 under, Lanto Griffin -5, Sebastian Munoz 4 under par. He's just made the turn. He's 2 shots off the lead. 3 under par, Mackenzie Hughes, Cameron Smith, Russell Henley playing well again this week, Gary Woodland, and Matthew Fitzpatrick. They are tied for 4, 3 unders, 3 shots back, Fred.
Xander Schauffele has 1 birdie in this opening round. That came back at the par 5 11th. Trying a birdie or better. Par 5 16th hole, 268 after a big drive. Has to cross the creek twice. Water should not come into play. Back left hole location has room for this ball to release upon impact. Xander has such a smooth, easy swing. Strikes and walks after it. That's usually a good indicator. That comes up just short of the putting surface. 1 hop onto the green. That's going to be hole high, maybe 30 or so feet away for eagle. Upcoming for Xander Schauffele. He's bogey free. 1 under, playing our par 5 16th on his outward 9.
It'll be an eagle effort for Xander. A couple guys at 2 under par. You got Jordan Spieth, nice start, 2 under through 8. And John Rahm also, he's 2 under through 7. And last week, Jason Day withdrew in that final round. He's back, feeling better, and his neck seems to be doing okay. He's 2 under through 3. Rory McIlroy off to a decent start, made a birdie in one of his first 2 holes, so he's 1 under par. And Matthew Wolff, 1 over par. Phil Mickelson, 1 over through 2. And Tiger Woods, a couple over par and in trouble on the par 5 15th.
Yeah, it's been a very frustrating start for the defending champ, Tiger, Fred.
Nice. Just hit his 4th shot, Earl, and he's over the green. 168 in and missed his number. Now he's only maybe a yard off the putting surface, but that's going to be for par. Upcoming for Tiger Woods, playing the par 5 16th hole. He already stands at 2 over.
4,100.
Par 5 16th hole from out of the rough behind the green. Onto the putting surface. Now tracking toward the hole. Going to just miss on the left. Rolls out maybe 3 feet below the hole. That'll turn into a 1-putt 6, I imagine, for Tiger Woods. If he holds that putt, he will have played the first 3 par 5s and 4 over.
Wow, never in my wildest dreams. And it's been a sloppy mess, too. It's not just been like one little mistake. It's just been kind of bad drives, bad seconds or thirds or whatever it is, the next shot that he plays, whether he's got to take a drop. It just has not been very good at all for Tiger Woods in the early going. But he got off to a tough start. When he won this championship last year, it was 3 over through 3, and I don't think he made a birdie until about his 4th or 5th hole, I think it was, last year. And then he played some really, really good golf. When he turns it around, he's got that chance. Fred?
Xander Schauffele with 33 feet for eagle upcoming. Matthew Wolff had an eagle chip from behind the green, almost holed it, walked up and tapped in the birdie. Back-to-back birdies for Matthew Wolff. Double bogey at 14, birdie at 15 and 16. He's back to even par. Now Xander Schauffele looking to help himself out with a long-distance putt. Will ride a ridge, then the putt will start leaking toward the right as it approaches the cup and crosses the fall line. Xander Schauffele, a left-hand low putter. Strikes the ball over the ridge. Now catches the slope. Now starts to fade to the right. Up to the hole. Not going to go in, but what a nice 2-putt birdie for Xander Schauffele. He moves to 2 under.
His pace was beautifully judged there. Just missed it a little low into the right-hand side, but it's going to be a kick in from there. So Xander, a couple birdies. I mean, he hasn't got much out